As we all know, Hunter x Hunter is packed with lots of emotional moments, and with the return of Hunter x Hunter, I feel like we should discuss what I feel to be one of the greatest written and executed chapters in the entirety of the Succession War arc. And it's a chapter of the arc that I really don't see get talked about much, and I feel it should. I feel it should get a lot more attention. In this chapter, Togashi shows us the incredibility of Nen Beast with the two twins that are Princess Kacho and Fugetsu, and he reinforces the stronger after death idea that he's been pushing throughout the entirety of the series. Togashi had already set up their dynamic as Kacho being extremely overprotective of Fugetsu and being the older twin sister. So with this dynamic, it really just shows us why their Nen reacted the way they did in this chapter. Throughout the story of Hunter x Hunter, we're always going through some type of journey with different sets of characters. So for example, whether it be Gon and Killua in Heaven's Arena and the Chimera Ant arc, Kurapika during Yorknu, the Troop, the Chimera Ants themselves. However, within this journey, we can easily say that there's lots of ups and downs, especially when we look at the emotional factor. Togashi does a great job of setting up minimal roles for characters that can leave an extreme impact on the reader, which is why there's sometimes so much emotional impact added within small scenes and small moments in chapters. And I feel like that's one thing that Togashi excels at as a writer. Even with characters that we've only known for a short amount of time, or even really that we just got introduced to, Togashi does a great job of making us feel some type of connection to them, no matter how small their role or how small their screen time might have been in the chapter or the episode. Now, to summarize the chapter, for real, we really just start with Melody, who's a bodyguard to one of the princes, Prince Kacho, to be exact. That's one of the twins, the twin of Prince Fugetsu. And we see that during the time she became a bodyguard, she makes a plan to help them escape the ship so they don't have to fight in the Succession War arc, as basically the Succession War arc is a death battle between all the princes. And now, what makes this chapter impactful are like the characters that we're introduced to in the chapter. To be specific, just one character who left the biggest impact, and his name is Kini. In the chapter, we see the plan is for Fugetsu and Kacho to escape during a performance in which Melody will play her flute. And as we know, back to Yorknu, Melody's flute can knock people out, or she can pause them momentarily. So while she does this, the princess will escape. And now after Melody does this, this is where we finally get focused panels on Kini. After he aids the princess to their escape, we see him have a short dialogue with Melody, which personally, I feel gave great impact from his character. In the very next panel, we see Kini open a pocket watch. And within this pocket watch is a picture of his child and a woman. And this is where Togashi gives us a very quick yet hard-hitting backstory, I feel. Kini, he lost his wife and daughter in an accident, and now his only purpose in life was to find a place good enough to die. We see layers added to his character when he explains to Melody that all the accomplices need to disappear so it won't affect Melody, the Hunter Association, and the ongoing Succession War arc. We see him talk about how at this point, he's now proud and worthy to be able to meet his wife and his daughter. And he's able to save the lives of two innocent little girls. In the next few panels, we see Melody not even attempting to stop him after hearing his heartbeat. And in the very next panel, he takes his own life. We see Kini set up as a character who already was ready for self-sacrifice, but also we see him as a character who's already suffering and struggling with whatever he was going through. Togashi made him a character who not only has different reasons for doing what he does, but it also made his death hit a little harder. For a character we literally only got to know for a chapter, Togashi, I feel like he left a little bit of an emotional impact with him, as he's showing us how much of an effect the Succession War arc is having on not only the princes involved, but everyone else. And I feel like this shows us how everyone truly has their own story and purpose as to why they're on that ship. In the next few panels, we already see Fugetsu and Kacho moving forward to make their escape, and let's make a quick rewind. We know that Kacho and Fugetsu's dynamic is where Fugetsu is extremely reliant on Kacho and they do everything together. And Kacho has this sense of duty to always protect Fugetsu and is overly protective of her. This set dynamic makes the final panels of this chapter even more heartbreaking. As they're starting to make their escape off the ship, we see that anyone trying to leave or escape the ship before its destination or the end of the Succession War will die. Now, it wasn't too clear if this rule only applies to the princess, as this could be some kind of Nen contract that was made where even their guardian spirit beasts aren't able to protect them. But in the next few panels, right, it shows us them trying to escape, and they realize that escaping is impossible and will only result in death. And as we know with their abilities, they can open doors anywhere that can lead them to different places on the ship. This is the ability of Fugetsu and Kacho. I'm pretty sure Fugetsu can open up an entrance and only Kacho can open up the other side. And we see Fugetsu open the door and get back onto the ship, and we see Kacho got caught by whatever beast is preventing them from leaving the ship. But then she opens the door Fugetsu created, and they go back to their rooms and decide to plan for another escape in the future. But in the very last panel of the chapter, we see the truth of what Kacho's guardian spirit beast was. As we know, all the princes have their own guardian spirit beast, and they each have different abilities in a way to protect the princess. We finally see what Kacho's guardian spirit beast was. In the event that one of them was to die, her guardian spirit beast would manifest into the other twin, staying by their side and protecting them forever until they die, showing us the power, and Togashi reinforcing the Nen after death idea. And we see that the real Kacho died from the escape attempt.